Dire team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Sand King.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Needs assassin.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Crystal Maiden.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Rubik.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Bristleback!
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Bounty Hunter.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Spirit Breaker.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Ursa Warrior.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
KeyArena.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Venomancer.
Yeah, sticky. That's a good way to put it. Kind of a gross lineup to fight into, and
there's bugs and snot and poison. It's just gross.
And Ursa is going to have a rough time against this Venom.
Oh god, yeah. This is a very hard Ursa game. Like, traditionally, Ursa is great in lane against Bristleback because Fury Swipes are just like the ultimate like melee hero dominator. But as the game goes on, Bristleback's a natural Solar Crest carrier. Anything that makes that item during the mid game you suffer is like these Life Stealers, the Ursas, anything that really wants to focus that one guy down through physical damage. Very, very hard, I think, for Aloha Dan to deal with that. Though I said the same thing in the first game when he was getting aggro tried as a Slark and he still managed to make it work. So
he farmed with the Lycan, you know?
Yeah,
so.
Pretty insane.
So, I mean, that said, you know, we'll see how it plays out. But on paper, do you favor either draft tier?
I like M19 a little bit more. I think a lot is going to come down to the early game, as you would kind of expect. I guess from the way the things are working out right now, it's just going to be a mid-bristle for M19. And they're going to put the... Maybe they go aggro again. Maybe they didn't get enough of their aggro shenanigans in game 1. This time it's going to be a little bit different, though, because it's not melee versus melee farming. It'll be a Veno versus an Ursa.
Yeah, if they go aggro with the Veno, that's certainly the case.
God, Veno is such a hard hero to play against.
Maybe they want to put the Veno against the Sand King, try to, like, not give Afterlife a free lane this time around.
That's also an option, yeah. I think no matter where the Veno goes, though, he's probably going to have a good time. That hero is one of the few that in a side lane, there's not really much you can do about him.
What is Veno's worst matchup? Like a 1v1, if there is one.
I don't think he really has a bad matchup in a side lane. Because you do the same thing in every single matchup. You don't change. You just, you know, maybe you get your value point into Gale, you max wards, you get Poison Sting, and you just farm. And because of the insane amount of vision that you get through Plague Wards and the inability of people to push your tower, you either out-farm the enemy, or they get equal farm to you, but they're never killing your tower. Like, never, ever, ever going to kill it. And plus, his teamfight presence is insane. Like, no one on the side of Vega really, besides Rubik, is going to be able to build a pipe. I guess Bounty might be able to, if he has like a super good game, or the Sand King if Afterlife wants to go back for it. But I'm really feeling what M19 have drafted this game. I like it a lot.
You like your sticky icky, huh?
I mean, if I was playing against this in a pub, I'd probably rage.
And
Because-
probably try to get this game over with as quick
Yeah,
as
I
possible.
would, LD, I'll be honest with you, I would open that line mid. I would just walk down mid right now.
Just start parading.
Not because you can't beat it, but because even if you beat it, you don't feel like you won the game.
It's a lose-lose situation. You either have to play against it and scrape and claw to win and feel miserable the whole while, or you just get the -25 and move on with it.
I would dub this the tilt lineup from M19.
Okay.
You have Veno in lane, you have Bristle in lane, you have a Spear Breaker,
Constantly hunting.
and a Nyx.
Yes.
It's like... Yeah, this is a type of lineup where you can...
So, okay, if it is the tilt lineup, who are you trying to tilt on this?
It's going to be hard to pressure mid. I think you want to...
No, I just mean like personality-wise. Like, who's the,
Oh,
the
who do
most
I
tiltable
think?
player on
I think
Vega?
Afterlife tilts pretty hard from this pubs. I don't know about Shioma. G's pretty chill actually. I think it's quite hard to tilt him. Aloha Dance is also pretty laid back. I don't know about Silence. So yeah, I think maybe Afterlife.
Okay. Send him to the end.
I mean, I've watched him play before. He streamed like very little a long time ago. Him and Iceberg, I think.
Those
They're
are
both very good players.
even the best. Do have emotions after all.
Oh god, yeah.
Someday, perhaps Dota will be played by robots, but for now, we get to enjoy some shenanigans from time to time. So, looking at the late setup here for Vega as we enter the field of battle. They are going to be running the off-lane Sandcane for now. It looks like he will be on his own, and he is going to be 1v1 against Phonic. Phonic, yeah, I mean, it is a core Nyx, but they're running the Nyx safe lane. They are going aggro with the Veno once again. Oh, not with the Veno once again, but they are going aggro once again.
Yeah, second game in a row they're gonna do it. I know what you mean. This is a much different matchup. Again, it's not melee versus melee farming anymore. It's the man, the myth, the legend, the Venomancer. Or as one of my close friends, Bruno, used to call him the Buenomancer.
The Bueno man.
Mhm.
Somewhere Mott is smiling.
And the laning phase, equally important, I think, for M19 this game as it was in the previous match. Obviously, Bounty Hunter getting 6 is going to be huge for Vega. They have great pickoff potential, especially once Afterlife gets
The
blinked.
battle begins.
And lots of information gathering through the bounty.
This is like the most annoying hero in the world. The Nyx with double mango, 6.4 regen base.
I was surprised he tangoed there. I don't even think he had to.
No. Maybe he thought they were going to dive him, but they let him go. They know you can't harass the Nyx.
Alright, we'll see how the lanes shape up here. Yeah, they're already moving. Aloha Dance has no intention of trying to be in the same lane as a Venomancer. Oh, Shioma's going to scout out the movement. And he immediately turns around again. So, Benny Hill music for the Ursa, just running back and forth between top and bottom.
Yeah, Afterlife was doing the same, you know, he's like trying to head up towards that top lane, now back the other way. Slayer, Sioma getting aggressive on Muriel. Giving that pokey to the Crystal Maiden, but has to be quite careful with Misha in the neighborhood. No dust though, just starting with the Sentry. At least for now. Phonic also panting one. And he's gonna charge straight onto this bottom lane, onto Afterlife will go, the Gale connects. They're gonna be real annoying for Sandkane. Has the Burrow Strike, using it defensively to get out of the lane though. And this means no early harass available for him. Up top, meanwhile, it's well, it's an Ursa dual lane, and Phonic is taking quite a bit of harass. You know, all that regen is not that helpful. He does get the 2 hero stun when you've got this burst damage from the Ursa.
Yeah, let's wait until Aloha Dance gets the Orb of Venom. Then it's going to be real suffering here for the Nyx.
And that next build is so good if you're up against like chip damage, but when you're up against this burst of the Ursa, not so effective. As Afterlife could be in danger here. They're going to Frostbite him, no mana for charge. They're going to force out the Sandstorm, had to skill it. Completely different kind of game for, well, really both offlaners. They're not going to get that free farm.
Well, they were expecting to lane against each other, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason Afterlife starts PMS. I think in this lane, there's no way you start PMS because you're not really looking to trade with the supports. And the same thing can be said for Phonic, like you mentioned. It's great for when you're getting hit by a support. When you're getting hit by Ursa, you kind of want boots.
Slayer has managed to grab a haste rune here. And a bounty rune. And maybe... No.
He got the clarity too, man. That
Little
was so
love
value.
tap for Misha. You know? So in the mid lane, Bristle mid, G is actually doing quite well here early on against the Bristle.
It's one of those lanes where neither one of these heroes can realistically kill each other. There's going to be a lot of creep hitting.
Lots of movement so far as Slayer is hunting for this courier. Vision. No, it is tucked away in the trees, at least for now, but have to be careful. Actually, he knows. He knows. I think he saw the courier tuck back that direction and kind of guessed it was in the trees.
He's already done so much for his team, honestly, in like the first 3 minutes. There is dust on the SP. He has boots, though, on the bounty. He's going to cancel, okay.
Yeah, that's a big pick-off for him. Now, that said, Nyx does have his bottle. We'll be able to figure out the boots. Generally, Bristle, a fairly sustainable hero in the lane, but he is out of regen for the moment, so perhaps G can force him back. It's gonna throw a lot about that Star Storm as the charge goes towards the bottom lane. They're looking for Afterlife in quite a bit of trouble here. The Gale did not connect, I believe. Yeah, just the Poison Sting slowing him down. Still, though, Afterlife doesn't have a whole lot of mana to work with. Has a couple of stick charges. They continue to lay into him. Muriel trying to cut off the path of retreat, and Afterlife is about to be sent to his namesake. Continues to try and worm his way around here. He buys time, but he needs more than time. He needs friends, and he doesn't have any bottom. So first blood to M19. Meanwhile, up top, they are pursuing Funnick, but Funnick is A-okay.
Still, I think, everything considered, like Afterlife dying there, sure, it's a bummer for him, but like their lanes are going. They have a 1k net worth lead of like 4 minutes.
Courier Snipe is certainly going to help you a lot in that department.
Yeah, and that's with the first blood gold going the way of M19.
That's true. Well, they're getting these bounty runes, they've sniped the courier, farming pretty well. And very unfortunately for Nyx, he had to make the walk of shame all the way back home as he did not have the courier to bottle Crow, and there was a regen rune top that G just grabbed for free, so G having a good time here mid. Also, well, relatively good, all things considered. They're going to make the go again on Afterlife in the bottom lane. The Frostbite's there. Gets that caustic prop and proc, and once again Misha charging in. Gets the bash. Easy peasy. Trying to make the move on Nyx. Nyx ain't having any of it.
Yeah, that's a bristleback. That is one hero that even 3 against 1, you're not entirely sure if you're going to get away scot-free.
Especially when he's mid and he's getting that extra experience.
Yeah, he's already level 5, so it's pretty terrifying trying to go on him. But I like the way that Nisha's playing this, or excuse me, Misha. He's going for the I'm gonna go on the Sand King a lot because Afterlife played pretty phenomenal last game when he was able to get his.
They have an opening here on Funnick. The lift, Carapace is committed, but the body blocks by Silent are enough. One more clap, one more hit, down he goes. Funnick using the Impale to farm and did not have it available to retreat. Pretty greedy as it gets punished.
Speaking of greed,
Misha going for the YOLO dives. Nyx gonna commit to this as well. Does get the Quill stacking up. G, though, is hounding him from the rear. Muriel comes in with the Frostbite and the save. Could have been disastrous if that Bristle also goes down. They're gonna try and up here and reset.
Vega.
So far, so good for Vega.
Yeah, they're looking really solid. I'm curious to see how G builds. So far, everything is fairly standard items. Got the Magic Wand going, the Aquila, Bottle, Raindrops. The standard I don't want to die to Spearbreaker or Bristleback build.
That should help.
G charged down here by Misha. A little bit of leap up to the high ground and Slayer. Once again with the love tap. Out comes the arrow. It's going to drill Muriel. Thinks about going back in. Won't end up doing it, but the threat is there. Finally Funnick getting a little more space here top. Still level 4 though, so certainly feeling the heat. Meanwhile, Afterlife almost level 6 already as the offlaner.
Yeah, he's died a bunch, but he's managed to secure a ton of EXP. I mean, you compare that to, I guess, Funnick, who's had a much rougher lane, even though there typically have been less heroes in it, just because of how good Ursa is against melee.
pinned your eyes open, didn't it?
I wonder if they crashed. Nope, just us.
Just the green
Dire's
studio.
middle tower is under attack.
Well, as we re-enter the game, it is Nyx getting a kill. 5-2 the score. I guess Bristleback things just happened.
One can only assume they'll be.
We'll leave it to your imaginations, guys. A Roach Pit here does get Burrow Shrock, and will be brought down by Afterlife, so the lane's starting to break down quite a bit. Lots of movements. And this is leaving the bottom lane open, and LTW looking to make the most of it as the Plague Wards start to stack up. Only level 2 Plague Wards, though. He went for the 2-2-2 build.
Yeah, interesting. I see a lot of different variations of Veno builds. Usually everyone gets the second point in the Sting, just because it's like so good comparatively to level 1. I'm charged top here.
Looking to lock down the Ursa to get the bash. The real you, though, still threatening to come back in. Now Muriel arriving with the Frostbite. They're going to have a follow-up Impale, and he's really got to hope it out of here. The Enrage committed, but they lock him down. They look to focus him. Laying into him. Gets the bash again and again. Still, this Ursa is so hard to cage the bear. They'll finally do it. They had to work for it, though.
That was a very long gank. No reaction from Vega Squadron. I guess they were TPing for a smoke towards bottom. Looks like a little spot. Probably the only hero they didn't want to see, which is the Bristleback.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Maybe they want to try to go for it with the Mirana here.
He's got a cloak even. Nyx is going to be a tough kill, and he's so close to that tier 2 mid.
Dire's
Could be
top
punished.
tower
They'll have
is
to do
under
it
attack.
perfectly.
Radiant's
Silent
middle
rumbles
tower is
in.
under attack.
No scouting by M19 yet, or they could go for an easier, lower hanging fruit of a kill if this Fearbreaker gets scouted out. Slayer's going to get eyes on him. They'll get back down in the end. Meanwhile, M19 manning up. The Impale's not timed, or rather is timed right. Getting my team picked up here in the chaos. The players get back to safety. Now the real you engaging. TPs, runs forward, gets the clap off. No follow-up, though.
Really hard to kill Mirana as their heroes, to be honest. I mean, you have to commit like pretty much as hard as they committed onto the Ursa.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
A lot of these cores are very difficult to kill. The Bristleback's super tanky. The Veno is always going to have wards kind of scouting you out. And has itemizing to be relatively tanky for a Venomancer. You've got, meanwhile, the Ursa with the Enrage. We saw how long it took to kill him. And the elusiveness of the Sand King Mirana. So pretty much all the cores are extremely difficult to bring down this game.
I like the rotations too from FTW, or LTW. He walked to top lane and just takes the tower pretty much by himself after the previous gank that they put onto Aloha Dance, just knowing that the Ursa probably wouldn't want to stick around there anymore. And in the same sense, you know, it's a little bit more difficult for Vega to hit those buildings. We talked about it during the draft. They only have a Mirana and an Ursa. Not really the best combination for hitting anything other than heroes.
And these Plague Wards are quite the pestilences. They are going to find Tioma. The Frostbite cancels his TP, likely going down, and meanwhile they're chasing for more. The charge comes through. They have another strike, not just yet. They lift Mish up, drop him back down into the angry claws of the Ursa, but again the Frostbite shuts the door. The ward's stacking up, and they chase forward. This Veno, though, about to tank the epicenter. He's going to withstand it. He's got the raindrops. He has the extra regen from the Green of Health, and they keep on chasing forward. Fighting into these wards seems impossible for Vega right now. As Afterlife, he'll be next on the list most likely. Gets stuffed up, gets chased down. A killing spree for LTW. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, Nyx ramping up on G. Now the leader in terms of CS. Checking the net worth department, he is on top there as well.
It's looking like a very different early game here for M19 in game number 2. Their mid lane and their safe lane are both crushing it, as you've already mentioned, and the Sand King is going to have his Blink Dagger, I guess, probably 16 minutes, 17 minutes at this rate. He's only got 700 gold on top of the Tranquils, so Afterlife is... He's definitely having some struggles, but once he gets it, and once Track is online, which is another big thing, could be a good turnaround point here for Vega.
Spearbreaker just keeps on charging. That's towards bottom. To get out there a bit quicker. Doesn't really want to go on the Bounty Hunter, but good news for Vega. Sioma is closing in on his level 6 as we approach the 13-minute mark, so Track will be available relatively soon, but I guess the question is, Andy, like, can they actually kill these cores? The Veno already has a Force Staff, he's already tanky, Bristle's gone for a Hood, so these track kills won't be easy, but Vega look to make up for that durability of M19 with sheer numbers. As they charge in the burrow strikes there, they will connect on the Nyx, locking, putting down, taking him out. Quick relatively easy as it turns out. Meanwhile, though, LTW is going to TP away and they'll look to shove this bottom lane in. Tier 1 is at 1/3 HP or so.
Just trying to keep their outer tier towers alive for as long as possible. Once G gets the Aghanims, that's going to be a really nice thing to be able to de-push. Just keep the waves out all the time. I assume he'll probably go for like the Blink Blinkins build that we used to see when Mirana was...
The Blinkins build?
Yeah, the Blinkins. I think it's really good this game because first off, you're against Spirit Breaker, and if you're just relegated to side lane pushing, having that item against Spirit Breaker is the best feeling in the world because you don't feel like anything can really kill you unless the Nyx is right on top of you and the Spirit Breaker is ready to charge, in which case you can still die. But it's a lot of resources to commit for M19.
Well, speaking of charges, one coming bottom, Misha. Not going to commit to that though. Meanwhile, Slayer on the hunt, perhaps looking for a courier. Still trying to get that level 6. Really seems like he should be prioritizing at this stage of the game.
Radiant's top tower is under
Still
attack.
Vega struggling to get any momentum towards these towers. The top tower only now taking any damage. Meanwhile, mid, Nyx has brought it down to about 1/3, and the rest of the team going to congregate. M19 grouping up 4 heroes in the lane. Looks like they want to take this tower, try to establish some additional map control. We see some great deep wards by Vega, though. The question is, with all these towers falling, Andy, will they get to use those wards to set up ganks?
They get a courier. Chioma's been on point so far with his courier sniping skills. So the deep wards might not result in a fight, but does result in a courier kill. Top lane 2. It's Ursa, not having a great time.
It's also great against the Spirit Breaker to see those charges coming, as Ursa certainly not having a great time. I think that's a very accurate way to put it. Nyx going him up, whacking him with the mace. We'll bring him down. All the while, LTW starting to push this lane. Putting fishing for the follow-up. Slightly off the mark, the Moon Lord.
You know what the crazy part about this game is, LD, is the fact that Vega got the lanes that they wanted. Like, they weren't even laning the Veno against the Ursa, and the Ursa is still being this ineffective. Like, imagine if it had been like that aggro lane that we talked about at the beginning and they didn't dodge.
Yeah, it could have been pretty ugly, and what's even scarier is the Veno are starting to get out of control, and M19 are really feeling their momentum. The dust comes out. Misha will get shoved back to safety by LTW. It's getting increasingly hard to see how Vega are going to get kills without, you know, completely focusing down one hero. But like Bristle closing in on that next big item. You still don't have a blink on Afterlife in 15 minutes. I think he had it like 8 or 9 minutes last game. And that was also itemizing greedier with the, well, not greedier, but you know, spending more gold with the power treads.
Right.
He is being charged now, and he's going to get killed and finished off again. He has the money for the Blink Dagger, and he's going to buy it before dying here. Die he likely will. He burrows away. Lots of poison ticks on him. Misha trying to keep the vision. And will blink out into the trees.
Wow.
Buys the 4 TPs, so even if he dies, gold has been spent. Meanwhile, mid lane, Funnick getting tracked up. Ursa in the neighborhood, they're going to get the lift off, they're going to drop him back down, toss him in the middle of the team. Funnick with a dream stun connecting onto it. Now Nyx surges into position, but the Carapace stolen by Silent while he's facing the Ursa, might end up getting him killed. Indeed it will. What a play by the Rubik. Now Misha on the run, the real you, looking to bring down the space count, but Muriel's there with the save. Zones him back with the freezing field. Silent, though, coming in with the Carapace once again, and now the freezing field stolen and potentially getting turned back the other way. No, instantly gets canceled from the looks of things and won't be able to get much done with that. Now Silent going to tick down as the Poison Nova, the Veno damage over time stacks up. M19 do manage to avenge their fallen Bristle.
Vega kind of get baited into an ultimately bad engagement just because of the tracks. Like, you could see how bloodthirsty they were. There were so many heroes low with track on them. If they could get those kills, I mean, obviously taking the Bristle down is huge. You can see that even at a kill deficit and the laning phase going the way that it did. You know, Vega are still pretty much neck and neck in regards to overall net worth, less than, well, about a 1,000 lead for them currently. Looks like Funnick is going to spot out Afterlife.
Let's get that Carapace initiation on the caustic damage. Well played by Funnick. Afterlife trying to get out of here. He burrows on 2. He does not have the TP cooldown for 3 precious seconds, but into the trees he goes. He blinks to the south, right past Misha, tucks himself away. See you later, buddy. Nice escape for him. Slayer though.
Oh god.
Oh, that's the track he'll live to regret. There's support coming in with G in position currently under cover of Moonlight Shadow as they chase. Nick's looking for Silent. The arrow is on point. Connects on Misha, will bring him down. However, G gets Carapace in turn. Stolen by Silent. The Mana Burn now lifting up and slamming down Funnick. He will fall, losing the Nyx. Meanwhile, the other Nyx trying to run for this Ursa. Has his back turned, at least for now, though. He is still pretty low, and Crystal Maiden gonna bite the dust as well. 3, probably 4 with the failed Force Staff, just not quite him get over the ravine. He's in all kinds of trouble. They're turning back for the Bristle, holding him in position. The real, you can't finish him off. Oh, the Quills are stacking up, Andy. This could get ugly. G's being charged. Nyx might go back in, Shuriken, but it's to the rear.
Oh, no,
stays alive. The Hood regens there. Even with the track, they can't finish the job. As the Spirit Breaker continues to dive forward, looking for the G kill, he gets another strike. One more auto tackle, do the trick. Maybe not. G lives on a hope and a prayer. 9 HP. Finally, the Veno hit brings him down. Mamma mia, what a crazy fight. Now, Sioma with the long-range shuriken just being a pestilence here bottom. But he is also being pursued in turn.
God, this is a super back-and-forth game.
That was 8 kills, that fight.
Jesus.
Full team wipe in the end going against Vega.
These skirmishes, though, you gotta be really careful. You're playing against the bounty hunter, you know? They do end up taking down Shioma, like, near the start, but he respawns, gets a couple more tracks off, and you're not always gonna be able to get out with just a sliver of health. You start taking those bad trades, and it's gonna get real bad real fast.
Double damage rune is available for the taking top. We're gonna see a Bristle Radiance queued up here by Nyx. What do you think of the Radiance this game?
I think it's really good because he is just so durable. We saw during the last engagement they were attacking him for what seemed like ages. So Roshan's going to be done here by Vega Squadron. They have the DD on the Ursa and an arrow to help out, so this should actually die pretty easily.
Well, she is trying to cover this. Gets charged up, but they need some sort of contest as the real you will grab that Aegis. Back to safety.
But yeah, overall, I think Radiance is alright this game. Maybe not like the super tanky frontline bristleback that we're used to seeing, but if you watch the fights, I think that they do need a little bit more damage, and it's nice to supplement Radiance with Venom. Like, just the amount of AoE damage that you're going to be doing in fights, if you don't have a mech and a pipe, you are just going to... You can't last, right? Between just the Poison Nova, the Quills, and then the...
And at least for now, Vega have neither. They're getting closer to the mech on the Bounty Hunter, but no pipe in sight.
Yeah, it'll be a few minutes more. Or, you know, just one team fight, really, if you're a Bounty Hunter.
Gee, trapped out bottom. This will be a big kill if they can focus him down, and they will do so. M19, good rotation there. Chaining their spells properly. As Afterlife has to burrow down to safety. Misha diving for more. He's going to lock onto that Sand Cane. The connection is there. Now Nyx looking for the follow-up. He gets lifted, tossed back a little bit, but they still have their own Nyx stun, and it will be enough. Afterlife dropped. Vega now going to likely lose their tier 2 in this mid lane. So it's not the Blinkage build that you were mentioning. It's going to be a Shadowblade probably into a Silver Edge here for the Mirana.
Yeah, I mean, I guess against the Bristle, it makes sense. So maybe he's just thinking about the Aghanims for more of a, I'm going to have the ability to split push if I want to. Silver Edge is great at being able to kill the Bristle, and then I can transition into maybe like MKB later on and go for more of a hybrid build, instead of just the pure wave clear split push. Because if they don't have another hero that hits towers, it's still difficult for Vega. Like, sure, you can trade a lot of money by fighting with Track, but you need to actually win those engagements.
Well, Nyx going back and being a team player as he will queue up the pipe now instead. What a guy.
It's what they need.
But it's not what he wants.
Yeah, it's
He wants that shiny aura.
It's a choice to be able to fight, I guess, into the Aegis if, you know, Vega Squadron decide that they want to do some aggressive move. Because it's great against the Sand King and the Mirana Aghanims as well. Negates a lot of the damage output.
Sonic is looking to set up here on G, but there's just no backup in sight. Need a charge and a +1 at least to kill him. Mirana is already very tanky, but is pushing pretty far. Backups in the neighborhood, so it looks like both teams pressing towards the enemy safe lane as we will see LTW completing now the Maelstrom.
is under
Not going for
attack.
that super heavy team fight nuker build. Is KeyArena for some more DPS of his own. Sonic is prepping, ready to go in on the bottom lane, lobs the stun out from the trees, and now looking for the follow-up. The Carapace timed just right as the real you jumps in and into the waiting arms of the Venomancer. Trap now sprung, and the extra cards looking to be deployed. Charge forward from Misha, knocking G back on his heels, and simultaneously they turn back for the real you. They cage him, they kill him once. Can they kill him twice? The Epi comes through Afterlife, looking to send M19 there! What a great counter initiation. Vega, though, they need a little bit more. The mech comes through. Nyx is healthy. These quills might turn the tides. He stands his ground, but he's facing towards the Ursa. TP's away. Now they've got to turn. Now they got to run. Afterlife backing out. Silent too. Will anybody get caught by this bristleback? Juking through the trees. Has the stick. Manages to make it out. Completely outplayed. 4 dead in that fight. It looked like it was going to be a complete clear win for M19, but that epicenter.
Dude, Afterlife Sand King. MVP. He's landed some crazy good ults in the last 2 games, and even this time around when his laning phase was not anywhere near ideal, he still manages to come in the clutch. That's kind of what you need out of your offlaner, I feel, if you're going to be giving him heroes like Sand King. You need him to be able to wait it out, be patient, find the opportunity when the enemy team gets a little bit too overconfident, and then just huge punish. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get more kills, though, on M19, because that Poison Nova hit just about everyone.
Yeah, it doesn't have the Veil, I suppose, so they're not really like gearing to maximize the damage output there, but it was close. 2-3 heroes at about a third, a quarter HP who made it out in the end for the Vega squad. Still leading, but this could change things. They're going to catch out the real you. Now the charge, Nether Strike coming through. Completely locked down, Fuzzy Wuzzy. Gets the save. Nice Force Staff to the low ground. Afterlife save, back him up, and now Nyx Assassin pulled up, dropped down. He's going to back away. Veno forced to retreat.
Well, not getting the kill, unfortunately, but still getting a little bit of dominance asserted across the map. Both teams with aggressive wards as well. M19 can see Vega's jungle. Vega can see a little bit of M19's. Deep warding here. Another courier snipe by Shioma. Nicely done.
Can he make it out simultaneously?
I think he's alright.
Oh!
Okay, he's good.
Phonic goes stun ready.
Yeah, I think he threw a blind stun into the tree line, like hoping that he was there, but a little bit off the mark.
Yeah, so far the Bounty Hunter is definitely paying for itself. Now a 5k gold lead for Vega Squadron as they also took the tower bottom. Marana going for the BOTs. G can continue to accelerate his farm progression, so seems like we're in for a bit of a longer one, Andy, at least the way the game's headed. How do you feel the teams match up heading towards the mid game, potentially into the late game?
I don't really ever see Ursa as a crazy good late game hero. Like a mid game is pretty much the only game I think for an Ursa. So I think that Vega, if they can win a couple of really big fights, secure another Roshan, then it'll look really good for them to be able to finish it out. But against like a late game Benno, you don't even talk about support heroes like Spirit Breaker, for example, Nyx, the Bristle getting his level 25. Like, the Ursa just can't kill all of them. And that's pretty much what they need him to do right now.
So it's like all on the Marana late game, basically.
Yeah, more or less.
Oh, this is big, though. This is how you get to that late game in style. If they can get a track kill here, LTW gets brought down to about half, but his ult sends Vega Squadron packing. Now looking for the lockdown on the real you. He pops the BKB, the 3-hero charge, pile driving through. Misha getting the bashes, too. He is tracked, he's low, will be finished off, but the route is on as they move on to Silent on the back lines of the fight. Afterlife does strike back, taking out LTW. The Crystal Maid all committed. He's going to have to TP away. When the dust settles, a 2-for-2 exchange.
And Afterlife is just owning these fights. Another great epi, kills LTW pretty much by himself after the original initiation. I think that Aloha Dance is being he's being very patient with his BKB, but unfortunately when you get Galed, if you BKB after the Gale, it's not really a strong dispel, so you're still snared. Same thing with like Juggernaut Spin, those types of spells. So as a melee hero, if you don't BKB preemptively before you go in, you kind of run the risk of getting kited even if you do BKB.
And even if he does BKB, there's still a Spirit Breaker. We've seen Misha has done a really good job at controlling the Ursa in a lot of these fights. Tough Ursa game, like we said.
Yeah, fortunately for him, G and Afterlife have been playing pretty phenomenally in the fights. Finding the right openings, taking out the targets that they need to. Still looking at the next item coming up here from G. He went back for Boots of Travel, but he is going to be making the Silver Edge he was talking about earlier.
Misha there with the charge as the Ursa jumps in. He's going to continue pursuit. Oh, now the Enrage trying to back away, and Misha was getting ready to punish that aggression. In fact, still moseying towards the jungle. Yeah, they are going for the push here top, though. Trying to take this tier 1 down, Vega. Grouping up as a squad of 3. Meanwhile, M19 mustering the defense. They do commit their glyph here.
I don't know if they can really fight this. Yeah, it looks like M19 are showing up in force. There's a charge across the map as well.
Go for me.
Well, for M19, the Radiance is coming soon, so even more problems for the Ursa.
I guess for him, it's realistically about, you know, getting the Abyssal Blade is probably the next thing on the list. Some item to be able to hold people in place more. So if and when the Spirit Breaker does try to go on him, he BKBs, he can ensure that at the very least he might be able to kill him for committing so many abilities onto him. Because only one Force Staff right now on the side of M19. The longer the game goes, you have to assume that there's going to be Glimmers, there's going to be Ghost Scepters, Force Staffs.
They found Phonic, has the Blink Dagger, but it was on cooldown for just a moment. Still locked in the trees, Aloha Dance getting pushed up to the high ground, and now moving into position. Silent changes his mind, wants to back away. Moonlight Shadow covers this retreat, but he does get stunned, gets locked down. Want to fall and make it to the Ursa's out, and now Vega on their heels have to back. Gotta be careful in this next fight for the Bristleback, as there is finally a Silver Edge complete on G, but that alone probably not enough to kill him.
He's gonna need another right-click item, I feel, but he is going back for the BKB as well. It's a very, I guess, survivability-based build. They spotted Shioma as well.
Does have the haste, though. G was hoping to get that easy track kill on Muriel, but tapped the Shrine and backed away at the right moment as the Roshan dance begins. Will Ursa consider a buyback to try and contest this? M19 looking to grab that Aegis. They need this game to force a game 3 drop in, and they're down to the lower bracket here in CIS. To find Afterlife would be an absolutely massive grab if they can take care of the Scorpion King, and they can. Down he goes. 19. Grab the rope.
Well, this is a really strong timing for M19. They've pretty much abolished the gold lead that Vega Squadron had earlier. Their lineup is kind of hitting its stride in regards to the Veno. You know, he's level 18 now. He's got his max level into the Poison Nova. He's even got the 75 damage talent because he's 21. And they kind of have everything they need to start up a full-fledged siege here.
That's what we're going to get any moment, Vega. Not the best high ground defense lineup, Andy. They've basically got Sand King Epi. That's about it. You know,
they can clear the creeps, though. Like, they can't really kill the wards that well, but the Mirana by herself can just kill creeps.
So certainly doing a good job at nuking down the wave, as you mentioned. They do have the Silver Edge hit still available. Nyx, though, is cheese in his back pocket, ready to go with that if he needs to. And Vega not going to overcommit on him. M19 sticking around, at least for now, but top lane shoving in. I don't want to give up that tier 1 for free. Still want to keep this pressure going.
It's going to be hard, though, because Silence still Plague Wards. Doesn't seem like anything major, but if you're pushing into a concave of Plague Wards and the enemy Mirana can just spam Starstorm your wave down every time, it becomes very difficult to reach that tier 3.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They did grab a gem here on Afterlife. We've had it for a little while now, so a nice tool for dealing with the Nyx assassin potentially. Though when you have the Spirit Breaker, there's other ways to start the fight. You're not entirely reliant on that Vendetta initiation. Can only help. So Vega trying to stall the game out a bit. They're gonna push out this bottom lane with Mirana. Meanwhile, Afterlife does get caught, and it's the Spirit Breaker jumping him initially, now turning back for Silent, who's in all kinds of trouble. It's gonna be 2 more auto attacks, doesn't get the second. So Rubik will TP away to safety. Let's see just how hard this bristle hits.
Yeah, the multi-stacks just give him a ton of damage.
That's courier number 3.
Oh my.
Ouch.
Didn't have any items though, so I guess that's a silver lining for M19. I gotta say, like, given adverse circumstances, she almost played a very impressive bounty hunter. Like, this is not an ideal bounty game at all. But I think they had the idea of like getting the Ursa and the Bounty together as soon as they saw the Bristleback and the Nyx pairing. Maybe they just view it as something that they can kind of bully the lanes with it, or maybe they didn't realize that it was going to be Bristle mid too. That's also a valid option, I guess, but still some fight left in MLD.
At least for now, but this is going to hurt if Vega lose G. He is being charged from all the way across the map. This gives them the vision they need. They are able to try and slow G down a little bit. They know he's in the neighborhood. Keep on chasing him. Leaps out now. The Carapace there. And it is going to hurt the Mirana with the Starstorm auto proc coming out. As she leaps away, that gets her Carapace done, and that gets her killed. M19 punishing her again. Spearbreaker has really been paying off.
Yeah, solid pick. It was a snap pick as well. I think that was fourth. As soon as they saw the Bounty Hunter, they just instantly took SB. One of the heroes that is best at just continually pressuring. You know, you don't even really need that many items on the hero as long as you have your ult, you know, an urn, maybe a wand, and some dust. You're good to go.
M19 congregating here on the bottom lane. Afterlife, TP out. No, Misha just keeps on bashing him. Now cracking open the dust. Afterlife gets bashed again and again. Burrows away in the trees, but there to greet him is Funnick.
Oh, they didn't
really
see
not
him.
found him. They were on both sides just pincering him, the Sand King, but apparently weren't able to keep the vision, so he makes it away. Remember, he doesn't have a TP here for almost a full minute, and meanwhile, the rest of the team is just saying, screw it, let's push on to the high ground. But finally they say, forget about Afterlife. He's not able to join this team for some time. They're going to look to break the base now. The bottom lane they go. Wards are stacking up. Bristle out in front. Lane into the tower. He'll bring the tier 3 down. Do they stick around for the racks? That's the question. They get that concave you mentioned prepped up, ready to go. Dragging Nyx in, but nobody there to actually threaten the Bristle boss. This hero was ignored in game 1. Oftentimes, a first stage ban or pick. See why. He's doing a lot of work here. Good jump by Aloha Dance. BKBs, but does get controlled by the Spearbreaker pretty nicely at that. And now the Bristleback can look to chase forward. Misha there with the charge, locking out the Rubik. Not able to finish him off though. Silent gets forced back. The Epicenter comes through, but doesn't do nearly as much as the previous ones. Muriel stays alive. Nyx just keeps these kills going, roasting everyone within the Dire base. Still at full HP relatively, and jiving forward, looking for more. Aegis now committed. They have to retreat out here, but M19 do it as a pack, and as soon as you get overextended, you get punished. BKB for the Venom. Now the chase by Nyx perhaps can commence. They dive onto Afterlife. They goo up G. Does have the leap ready if needed, but they've gotten the melee. If they can just get out safely now, it's a big win for M19. A melee down, and perhaps more to follow.
To be honest, that fight actually could have gone even worse for Vega. When the Nyx blinked in,
they're going to try to catch this Bristle though. They did get off the Silver Edge auto attack, and now he's in danger. Healing up as best he can. He will end up dropping. Nice pursuit there by Vega, and the power of the Shrine in play.
Yeah.
Give him that TP to cut him off.
I mean, they get the kills at the end of the day. 1 Rax isn't a huge deal. They do have the Mirana with the Axe build to be able to push out lanes. It's going to be very important for G to be mobile, be around the map. Make sure that he's de-pushing as much as possible, because I think if M19 get to their base again like that, it could be very bad for them.
He's just going to charge top here onto G. The Lady Mirana getting nuked up and will be finished off. So, deep dive nets them another kill out for 70 seconds. No buyback.
Yeah, it's a painful loss. He's the one who really can't die either, because he's the one who has to push. That's why I thought that he would go for the Blinkens build, as I think you had done it earlier. Just so he can be safe when he's doing that. Because against Spearbreaker and Nyx, you never really know. They could just be on top of you at any point in time. And if Misha gets even a glimpse of you for a second, you're charged. At least if you have the Blinkens, you know that you're getting charged, because the Nyx has to be the one to break it for the SB.
This is increasingly farmed Spearbreaker as Misha went back for the Midas earlier, now farming towards a Halberd. Oh, Aloha Dance, public enemy number 1. He's going to be scouted out here to the south side. The Epicenter comes through from Afterlife. It's a pretty good one. LTW getting mauled by the Bear Claws. He won't even get off his ultimate. Good pick there by Vega, though. They've blown their load, and that's without Bristle Boss in the fight. Now Mana burning. Aloha Dance forcing him back. Perhaps M19 disengaged down their Veno. He is a big part of their team fight. Same time, though. Just the Veno kills, not really enough. Vega looking for more. Hunting, push pushing forward a bit further, and they are going to lock down Muriel. Gets the Burrow Strike follow-up, comes through from the bounty. Grab the kill. 26 to 21 now the score, but they want even more than this. Still Congo lining over towards this secret shop.
They do have vision.
Walking up into the Bristle, though, that is a tall order. But if he walks right into the Silver Edge kit, perhaps a possible kill. Down to half HP already. Gonna lift up the Nyx, drop him back down. Silent there with a good steal. Has the Carapace, and the Yules is gonna interrupt that charge arrow as they look to retreat. Nyx force back. Vega do disengage.
Oh, there's a second halberd now on M19. This Ursa is going to have an increasingly hard time. His BKB is down to 7 seconds, so he's got a couple more uses left before he's at minimum duration. And then, at that point, you got to be able to kill him in the Abyssal. Like, he's going all in. He's not even saving the buyout right now. He's just buying his item.
How big is the Abyssal this game? Do you see it as a game-changing item?
I mean, it definitely can be. He just needs to be able to hit a target. Like you mentioned earlier, the Spirit Breaker Misha is just all over him during these fights. If he goes in, and he gets the BKB Abyssal, and is just able to get like 2 full rounds of overpower off, I think pretty much anyone dies, even the Bristleback if he's Silver Edge, so...
Oh, there's the Blink Stun to set things up on Afterlife, now looking for the Nether Strike follow-up, but does get fogged out. The Shiva's Guard, popped by Nyx as he dives forward. M19, aggressive movements. Down 6k gold, but it doesn't feel like it from the way they're playing, with the Rax advantage and the constant pressure. Vega just... This lineup just seems to need like a 20k gold lead, you know, or a much more substantial one anyway to get a fight head on into M19.
It's the nature of their heroes. Like the Bristle, the Veno, very good at kiting the Ursa during the fights, and you know they don't have anything like Bat Rider, for example, who's really good at pulling a hero out and just kind of giving you the damage on a silver platter. He has a Sand King, which is okay, a lift and an arrow, and that's pretty much it. Not the most reliable forms of crowd control when you're talking about one of the most susceptible heroes in the game to being chain crowd controlled by a Spirit Breaker. Like that is one of the hardest counters, pretty much.
19 are getting deeps from everywhere now. Crystallis is out on the Veno, going back for the Bloodthorn. Work it on the horizon. M19 still feeling much more confident in general as their movements around the map. Often seeing Vega just going in. Nyx certainly is not afraid as that Bristle, as he should be with the Silver Edge. But march him into the pit, though. Get to work on the Roshan. As that happens, the Moonlight Shadow wraparound comes from Vega. Will they get the jump? Good position by M19, though. A nice spread to the side. Burrow Strike through by Afterlife is going to hold LTW in position. Will he get off the ultimate this time? Stays alive, at least for now. Bash. No, he lives. He 4-steps over the horizon, but it's on to Afterlife. Has to commit the Poison Nova on a single hero. Really suboptimal Venomancer damage done in these last few fights. Still, Nyx can clean up. He's full HP, and although out of mana, doing a lot of work. The real you charged, bashed out of the Roshan pit almost. Will Roshan smack him? The Radiant slowly burning him down. He gets 4-stepped the other way. How the hell is this Ursa still alive?
Oh my god, he's
M19, are you kidding me? They just cannot seem to finish this man. Now the Nyx assassin's in danger. Somehow G managed to pick off Misha from the side and swarms backwards. Funnick there looking for the shrine up. The blink is about to come online. Can he hit the stun on G? He will do so, but he doesn't have the damage necessary. Even with the Carapace, the save by Slayer comes in with the Greaves. Now looks for the turnaround. It could be a 3rd kill going the way of Vega, and G really wants it. Man, oh man, this Venomancer getting picked early has just been brutal for them.
The Abyssal actually completely won the fight. He gets in there, he gets LTW to like 1 hit worth of health left, he pops BKB, he gets Lotus, 4-stabs himself out of the pit. But at that point, you know, he's already in a suboptimal position. Poison Nova not landing just ultimately wins Vega the fight. It's a lot of damage that was negated by Afterlife being in the right place at the right time, and Aloha Dance being able to get him solo so quickly.
He has not really been able to get his BKB off either, as the Roshan gets dropped by the Dire, Aegis claimed by Aloha Dance. Now they're going to try to fight. Still though, they are having a tough time of it as they'll lose Silent. They're possibly going to lose Slayer here as well. He is the Gem Bearer, and he gets screwed up. Ooh, now he in trouble, but Funnick, well, wild whiff there on the stun. The push is coming from Afterlife, so Vega trying to stall the game out a little bit. wait for this respawn on the Rubik.
Oh man, MKB being built now too on the Ursa. That's going to be another really big item. The Halberds are doing a tremendous amount of work just in the sense that they give you evasion. And unlike Solar Crest, when you Halberd somebody, you don't lose the evasion from your Halberd. So even if you're BKB'd and you can't be disarmed, you still have a chance to miss. The MKB is just going to mean, like, for sure, Aloha Dance is going to get his full spread of damage.
Can Marana carry this? That is well, like really the question on my mind, because it seems clear Ursa has everything has to go right for the Ursa to do much in these team fights. In the last few it has, but you have to figure at some point M19 are going to be able to like get the Veno BKB off before he's already dead, get a decent Poison Nova off, stick on this Ursa, and then Marana has to pick up the slack.
I think that Marana, it's not a traditional like position 1 that you think about doing like a ton of damage, but once you get that 100 leap attack speed at level 25, you can turn into a right clicker. Now because he's going Butterfly, his right click damage isn't going to be like massive, but Butterfly plus one other item, then we're talking about some serious potential here. Maybe Bloodthorn, MKB, you know, Daedalus, what have you. There's a lot of choices. And
extra items are certainly on the menu with the Bounty Hunter. It's now a level 3 track.
Yeah, this Bounty Hunter has done way more than I expected in this game.
11k net worth, he is atop the support charts.
Regeneration.
That should help.
They're going to group up on the M19 side. They've already gotten that one lane of Rex bottom. Let's not forget that as they do crack open the dust, but off the mark, they were hunting for Mr. Slayer, who might get another courier kill. Number 4.
Jesus.
How does this keep on happening?
I honestly have no idea. I mean, it does help that Vega currently have their gem, but he just seems to be in the right place at the right time. 4 courier kills. That's like at least 25% of their net worth lead. Is just the couriers.
Right, and then probably another like 25% is the track gold. So this single-handedly, this bounty hunter has given them half their lead. To say nothing of the snowball impact of those incremental kills, and courier or otherwise.
And it's kind of getting to that stage in the game where, you know, your Bristle boss, he's not like killing heroes super fast anymore because everyone's getting mobility items, everyone has horses, Yules, Glimmers, Blink, stuff like that. He can't, you know, he's starting to actually get kited as well. It's not just Aloha Dance that has to worry about not being able to hit stuff. The Bristleback can suffer from that same issue.
Bunnix gonna start things off here, gets the stun on G. Has the cheese though, and down goes the tower. M19 we'll have to give that one up. But yeah, to your point, it's just the ideal scenario is you kind of ignore the Bristle. Kill everyone else, then you'll go back and deal with them. Only way you probably jump him is if it's like a 3v1, 4v1, and you get that Silver Edge proc, then maybe you try to get him. But
when Aloha Dance has MKB, they will be able to kill him with just him and G, I believe. Because
that's a scary thought.
The nice thing about MKB against Bristlebacks who mass armor is that the MKB proc it's magical damage, right? And he obviously doesn't have BKB, so you're actually dealing a huge chunk if you get lucky and you get those many batches going. Not to mention the Silver Edge that Cheese had for quite a while.
Yeah, and with all that attack speed, he's going to be getting a lot of procs potentially.
Gold for me.
So M19 are really slowing the game down. The item progression has slowed as well, down 13k gold and on the ropes here in the winner's bracket. Ultimately double limb format, so only one team advancing, not really the end of the world if you get dropped down, but you'd much rather be taking that direct route to the grand finals and have a less stress on your mind. Also, we'll have the day off should they drop this. Winner of this match is going to play the winner of Empire Spirit. Getting ahead of ourselves, I suppose. M19 still hanging on, trying to take advantage of that Rax that they took earlier, going back for a shrine here. The earlier takedown the northern shrine. At last they will remove that bulwark of map control near the Roche Pit. Or, sorry, near the south side of the map.
It's a very tense stage in the game for both teams because you're past the 45-minute mark now. It's down to how many mistakes we make. If we have buyback, if we don't have buyback, 1 or 2 team fights can just be the end for either team.
Even though it feels like M19 are starting to lose these fights, they are the aggressors nonetheless. They take the tier 3 tower down. They're going to use that bristle, try to ignore him. Charge forward, comes from the Spirit Breaker, but he's quickly dealt with. Now Vega on the hunt. They can lock onto Nyx here. Arrow comes through. They are going to get the break. Already that Rack's almost dead. Down to 60 HP on the melee. Stays alive for now. They want to commit for this. Funix there with the multiple hero stun. Does Nyx just say screw it and run in, look for that second lane? No, he's hesitating now. The epi from Afterlife. A real beaut, though Nyx is so damn tanky. They really cannot kill the Bristleback first, but they've killed everyone else. 3 now on their deathbeds, and about to join them is the Bristle. 4 for Vega. Oh, a lot of those track kills too, but they've lost another melee Rax. It was a suicidal gambit that arguably paid off. M19, not out of the woods yet, but...
They need to, like, force a buyback now, I think. It's okay to be down, like, a Rax and a half, I feel, as Vega's lineup, as long as you can force one of the cores to buy back. Because Roshan's not going to be up, obviously, it's like, if you force that for you to kill one more core and just end the game.
Vega are trying to do something along those lines as they march down mid. The way to the tier 3 lies open. Small little wall of wards here is being prepped. Quickly move in. Get Aloha Dance up on the high ground. G getting to work. Does have the plus 100 leap attack speed that you mentioned, so can really accelerate his team's pushes. Afterlife goes in. They try to jump the Venom once again. Doesn't have the poison over for some time. Vega took down the tier 3. They haven't gotten the Rax hit. They haven't forced the buyback. The tracks are coming through. They are starting to chip. They are starting to, well, actually rather rapidly muscle this one down with G getting off quite a bit of physical damage onto that structure, but at the same time, Glyph comes out now. The real you manages to jump. Will absolutely desecrate Misha. Just tears him to bits with those claws. M19 now going to be down the Spirit Breaker once again, which means much more free to move around these fights is Aloha Dance, so they take back a melee Rax. Now Vega TPing away, and will make it out successfully.
Jesus, man, the net worth lead. They just built like over 10,000 gold from that whole exchange. And that's without the Bristleback even buying out. I think that it was probably the right call to not buy back there, but at the same time, you're going to have to now contest Roche. And that is probably not going to be easy anymore for M19, given just the sheer gold lead that Vega has managed to accrue over taking these trades and having that track gold.
Yeah, what was once an 8k gold lead became a 14k gold lead, and it has now become a 23k gold lead. So it's getting out of hand at this point. That's almost, it's like a 33% advantage or something along those lines. That's a big chunk.
Yeah, I think the Bristleback is starting to realize that in the fights, he's no longer the hero that's going to kill everyone if you don't attack him. You know, his threat in the mid-game has kind of come and gone. So he gets kited now. All the other heroes die, because G is mobile in the fights, and there's a Blink Dagger on Aloha Dance as well. They have tracks, so they're very mobile. This could be the make or break here for either team, I believe.
Yeah, Nyx gets kited. He's also killable with that MKB now. They're going to try to focus him down. Actually moving onto the Bristleback relatively early in the fight. The Spirit Breaker gets completely shut down. Death by the claws. Chasing for more is Aloha Dance. They have M19 on the ropes now. They want to KO them. Coming back in as Afterlife gets up the burrow. They do manage again to hit him with the Silver Edge, but now G needs to run. Funnick came in from the rear. Double kill for LTW. Actually got off a decent amount of damage in that fight. He has completed the Bloodthorn. This is where the Veno has to really become the true carry for the team. Surprisingly able to pull it off a decent amount of damage in that fight.
Well, it was 2 buybacks from Vega and no poison overuse from M19, so one of them a big buyback with the Ursa. Yeah, all things considered, I think M19 are okay with it. They need to buy time, though, for the Spirit Breaker and the CM to respawn. If Vega get this, and the buybacks were more than okay.
Vega moving back into the Roche pit. Well, M19 is there. Contest, they're going to try for it. Nyx just marches in. Roche low. Not dead yet. He gets bashed at the worst possible time. They actually push this Ursa outside of the pit. Do they go back and try to finish off the Roche? Not clear yet if they can do it. Nyx charging forward, moving onto the Mirana, has to jump away. Ursa comes all the way, raining around the Rosie and back into the pit. Wants to kill up the Roche, but again he gets bashed. Again he gets focused. Killed a damn rock already. The Aegis hits the deck. Funnick's gonna snag it, snatch it away from the Ursa. Pushed over the pit once more. Line's getting spammed from the chat wheel by Muriel in the midst of a hectic and potentially decisive teamfight. It's a dieback on the Ursa. No Aegis for you, sir. No buyback on Rubik either. An additional double buyback. What was once a 23k gold lead minutes ago is down to 7k. Oh, where did it all go so wrong?
I think it went wrong at the point where they managed to delay a team fight, force Ursa out of the Roshan pit, save Poison Nova, which, by the way, huge props for being able to do that under such a high amount of pressure, because I don't think they would have been able to win the fight without it. Just clutch plays from M19 all around, and Funnick even getting his hands on the Aegis. This could be GG.
M19 would love to end it now if possible. Going for the Megas when it looked like Vega were about to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Then the game turns. G leaping in with the BKB, gets that quick cat kill on the Crystal Maiden, but the real prize has to be taking down Nyx if they can achieve that. They are going to get the bashes here. G's in danger. G doesn't have buyback. G's dead too. It falls apart now for Vega, who chose M19 as their opponents coming into this bracket. But now they will have to duke it out in a deciding Game 3. They are not able to close the game. 22k gold swing in about 3 minutes.
My lord, that was something. I gotta give credit again to M19. I mean, I like their draft a lot, said so from the get-go, but Vega just